The cherubim, often referred to as cherubs, are mentioned in the Bible multiple times and hold distinct roles within its narrative. Their purposes in the Bible can be categorized as follows. Guardians. After Adam and Eve were expelled from the Garden of Eden, God stationed cherubim to guard the way to the tree of life with a flaming revolving sword. Genesis chapter 3 verse 24. This was to ensure that no one could re-enter the garden and access the tree of life, which had the power to grant eternal life. Cherubim are the first angelic hierarchy mentioned in the Bible, and they played a crucial role in enforcing God's decree after Adam and Eve's fall from grace. Bearers of God's throne chariot. The cherubim are also closely associated with the concept of God's throne or chariot. They were described as the beings upon which God is enthroned, often situated above the Ark of the Covenant, which served as the earthly representation of God's presence. 2 Samuel chapter 6 verses 2, 1 Chronicles 13-6. In Ezekiel's vision, the cherubim were connected to a divine chariot with wheels and were depicted as powerful and awe-inspiring beings. Their appearance is described in the Bible as human-like beings with multiple faces, including those of a man, lion, ox, and eagle. They had wings, straight legs, and feet resembling calves' hooves. Ezekiel chapter 1 verse 5-10. They were not the winged infants commonly depicted in later art. These depictions differ from the artistic representations in various cultures in the ancient Near East, such as Assyrian colossi and Egyptian griffins. Cherubim played a significant role in the decoration of sacred spaces, including the Ark of the Covenant, the Tabernacle, and Solomon's Temple, reflecting their importance in the religious imagery of ancient Israel. The cherubim in the Bible served as guardians, protecting sacred spaces and symbols, and they were closely associated with the concept of God's throne or chariot. The unique appearance and symbolism played a vital role in the religious and architectural aspects of ancient Israel's faith. The cherubim's symbolism and imagery extend beyond their physical presence in religious structures. They also hold spiritual and symbolic significance. Spiritual beings. Cherubim are spiritual personalities created by God, not mythical figures or mere symbols. They serve specific roles in God's divine plan, often acting as messengers or guardians. They are part of the angelic hierarchy and are considered real beings with a physical impact. Protectors and enforcers. Cherubim were used by God to enforce His divine decrees and protect sacred and forbidden areas. They guarded the way to the tree of life in the Garden of Eden, reminding humanity of the consequences of their separation from God due to sin. Their presence and the flaming sword served as a barrier to access the tree of life, highlighting the broken relationship between God and humanity. Symbol of God's presence. Cherubim were intimately tied to God's presence, often depicted as being under or near His throne. Their presence in the Ark of the Covenant and the Temple reinforced the idea of God's continual guidance, protection, and presence among His people. They acted as intermediaries between God and humanity. Multiplicity and uniqueness. The Bible does not specify the exact number of cherubim created by God, but they are often mentioned in multiples. This plural form suggests that there could have been numerous cherubim, each with specific roles and functions. Each cherubim had a unique appearance with multiple faces, reflecting their diverse attributes. The cherubim's representation as bearers of God's throne and protectors of sacred spaces emphasizes their central role in the faith and worship of the Israelites. Their presence communicated God's holiness, power, and His continuous involvement in the lives of His people. While the cherubim's precise nature and functions may remain mysterious and open to interpretation, their significance in the Bible is undeniable. They continue to be a source of fascination and inspiration, both in religious contexts and as subjects of art and symbolism throughout history. Cherubim serve as a reminder of the spiritual and divine elements interwoven into the fabric of the biblical narrative. Throughout the Bible, cherubim also offer insights into the divine nature and the profound relationship between God and humanity. Signs of God's majesty and glory. Cherubim, with their awe-inspiring appearances, were a tangible manifestation of God's majesty and glory. The imagery of their multiple faces and wings, along with their connection to the divine throne, conveyed the transcendence and greatness of God. Guardians of God's covenant. Cherubim were closely associated with the Ark of the Covenant, which contained the stone tablets with the 10 Commandments and represented God's covenant with His people. Their presence on the Ark signified their role as protectors of this sacred agreement between God and Israel. Intimate connection to worship. Cherubim's depictions in sacred spaces, such as the temple, the tabernacle, and the Ark of the Covenant, underscored the importance of worship and the need for reverence in approaching the divine. They served as intermediaries between God and humanity, emphasizing the sanctity of religious rituals. Symbol of spiritual realities. Beyond their physical presence and roles, cherubim became symbols of spiritual realities and divine truths. The cherubim's depiction as beings with multiple faces could be seen as representing different facets of God's character or His interaction with humanity. Points of reflection and meditation. The cherubim's presence in religious contexts and their unique characteristics provide fertile ground for meditation and reflection. Their mysterious and symbolic nature invites believers to contemplate the depths of God's wisdom and the intricacies of His divine plan. In conclusion, cherubim in the Bible are multi-dimensional figures that hold various roles, both symbolic and practical. They serve as guardians, messengers, and symbols of God's presence, majesty, and the divine covenant. Their complex depictions and associations with sacred spaces invite deeper contemplation and spiritual reflection. The cherubim continue to inspire theologians, artists, and believers, as they represent a bridge between the earthly and the divine, a reminder of God's holiness, and a reflection of the profound spiritual truths embedded in the biblical narrative. Cherubim remain a powerful symbol of God's presence and His enduring relationship with humanity.